What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Boxing Wave 101, and we back here to talk about Demetrius Andrade versus who? Luke Keeler out of Ireland, Ireland's own. If you didn't know who he was, he had a little situation with Conor McGregor. You know, they're both from Ireland. Luke is 32 years of age. He's a middleweight. He's 17, 2-1. So it is official. ESPN has dropped the news. It is also official on BoxRec. I'm going to put the links in the description. So Andrade is fighting Luke Keeler. He is ranked by the WBO. The last time I looked, just a few months ago, I do remember his name, and he was ranked, I believe, number 3. Possibly he could have moved up if some of the guys from the WBO has lost, or maybe he just moved up in the rankings. I'm not sure. But by just the rankings and middleweight in total, I think he's ranked like 27th or something like that, and he's ranked number 2 out of Ireland. By no means is this guy from just from my opinion, he is not a world beater. His biggest name on his resume is Luis Arias, and that is not a big name. That opponent was 18-1. He had got beat by Daniel Jacobs. Daniel Jacobs beat him just about every round. So Luis Arias is really not much to be reckoned with at middleweight as well. So Demetrius Andrade is going to fight Luke Keeler. How I feel about it, this only makes Demetrius Andrade look even worse. I feel DAZN could have put him in there with, anybody but this guy. Take nothing away from him. I just don't feel like this should be a fight that Demetrius Andrade should be in. This is not a mandatory fight. Maybe they might try to say it's a mandatory fight, but it was no mandatories that Demetrius Andrade had to face. He could have even fought, who I really would have loved him to see, is Chris Eubanks Jr. Chris Eubanks just went to 160 pounds. He was usually fighting at 168. So Chris Eubanks Jr. versus Demetrius Andrade would have been a great fight. I do know Chris Eubanks and Jermall Charlo is, having words, and they're trying to look for a fight. But don't get me wrong, Chris Eubanks would have never turned down a fight against Demetrius Andrade, a bigger name. He fights out of the UK. Demetrius Andrade, I'm pretty sure, would have never turned down that fight. I'm not exactly sure what Eddie Hearn and DAZN is looking for, which route they're trying to go, but Chris Eubanks Jr. would have been a great fight, a really good name, a really good fighter. He could have got anybody else. Somebody like Ryota Murata. I believe he's a champion, not a super champion, but like a regular champion, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think he only has 1 loss. That would have been a really interesting fight as well. I have Demetrius Andrade just about beating all these guys, but he has so much talent, he has to get in there with some better opposition. I know some of the big names are kind of ducking and dodging him, if you want to say, but at the same time, those middle fighters like Chris Eubanks, Ryota Murata, and guys like that, maybe even a Brandon Adams, who's at least a bigger name. He had fought Jermall Charlo, gave Jermall Charlo not any problems, but he didn't make Jermall Charlo look great. So that would have been a pretty good fight as well. Maybe he could have went in there and made a statement by stopping him, since Jermall Charlo couldn't. So it's just guys like that would have been better than, like I said, take nothing away. But Luke Keeler, I don't really see much interest in this fight. It's not going to be a big sale. No one in America knows who's that guy, who knows who the guy is, and hardly they know who Demetrius Andrade is. So I'm just interested and wondering where the fight might be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be in Ireland, since most likely that's where his fan base is at. But Demetrius Andrade has to build his own fan base. He's a champion. If he's trying to call out people like Triple G and Canelo, how are you going to have a fight with them if you can't even build your own fan base? So I'm just looking forward to seeing where the fight might even be located. But like I said, Demetrius Andrade, who's a WBO champion, who's 28-0, who's 31 years old, he needs to get his foot on the gas. And I'm pretty sure it's not him. Pretty sure it's the powers that be and the people above him, the people who's advising him, people who's promoting him. It's their problem, and it's their job to get the job done by putting him in really good fights. I mean, Triple G are getting the good fights. Jamal Charlo at least are getting people who is noticeable. If I look at Jamal Charlo resume compared to Andrade, it's not even a comparison. Jamal Charlo fought, Austin Trout to Julio Santana Jr. He just fought Dennis Hogan. He fought Brandon Adams. He fought Julian J. Rock Williams, who's the unified champion at 154. He's fought Korobov. The guy has fought some pretty good names. So I just feel like Demetrius Andrade needs to go ahead and get a step on it. But that's it for me. Let me know how y'all feel about the fight. And we out. Peace.